What is the best way to ensure that your workplace has the capacity for your leaders and your teams to thrive and collaborate? And the answer to that is by leveraging cognitive diversity, also known as diversity of thought and trademarked as whole brain diversity and inclusion by Herman International. So, what is this whole concept of cognitive diversity? Well, it examines the different ways in which we process information that impact how we behave in the world. Now, specifically, how we think impacts how we build relationships with colleagues, how we communicate with one another, how we solve problems, learn, communicate, and overall make buying decisions. Now, there was a 6-year study on group efficiency and productivity, and the results found that a team of balanced thinkers were shown to be more effective, they took more options into consideration, and they made better decisions. Now, the whole idea of cognitive diversity can actually be explained through something called the whole brain, or the whole brain model, which was developed by a man named Ned Herman. And so the model separates the way that we think into 4 different quadrants of thinking preferences, all of which we have access to, but only one or some of them we gravitate to in a natural way. And the first key thing in understanding this whole idea of the whole brain model is recognizing that each of us has a preference or a thinking preference in one or some of the quadrants. And then the people we work with, interact with, and see every single day, family, friends, colleagues, all have a preference of thought in one or some of the quadrants as well. So once we've developed that awareness of our own and that of people we work with, the next key skill is learning how to flex our thinking preference and our communication style to that of other people to be more effective. Now, to break down the 4 different quadrants, on the brain's left hemisphere, you have analytical people or analytical thinking, also known as the blues, and then you have organized, also known as the greens. On the right hemisphere of the brain, you have red, which is also known as interpersonal, and then you have yellow, also known as strategic. Now, the cool thing about your thinking preferences is that they can be measured by using a validated assessment tool called the Herman Brain Dominance Instrument, HBDI for short. And so the results of this assessment allow you to leverage the insights for key workplace outcomes and metrics. And the benefit to your organization of having this is that, number one, every single employee has insights to optimize their strengths and abilities, but as an organization, it gives you a chance to a tangible way to dive into the cognitive diversity within your team, within your organization, so that you can understand how certain team members and certain colleagues' thinking preferences work well with other teams' thinking preferences to create a more collaborative, cohesive team. Now, that's a lot of information, and you might be thinking, okay, where do I start? Especially if you are a person in a position of leadership, or you are, in HR, responsible for your training and development, whatever it may be. But especially if you are a leader, I recommend by starting with leveraging the thinking preferences of those that you manage and you work with. And you can do that by using, first and foremost, a free tool offered by Herman International called the Whole Brain Diversity and Inclusion Checklist. And so you can actually click on the link in the description to download that free resource. Now, some organizations, like our clients, like to take it a step further and work with us to administer the HBDI with their leaders and employees. And so this is great for employees as a whole because, as I mentioned before, every person gets their own unique profile and gives them insights to their strengths and insights on how to improve their communication, their learning, and overall workplace developmental opportunities. And then for the organization, you get a chance to see and dive into the cognitive diversity gaps that exist within your entire organization or your leadership team or certain teams that may inhibit an inclusive culture or other workplace factors. Just to kind of give you a quick example, one of our clients based in Germany was having a challenge with their senior leadership team. And so we worked with them to administer, all 8 or 9 of them, the HBDI assessment. Every person got a profile, but also they got a team profile. Now, starting with the profile, it's, you see the 4 quadrants and 4 colors, and each person is mapped on the whole brain model. And so the CEO was mapped on the top right, strategic yellow, meaning that when he thinks and he communicates, he prefers to, lean towards strategy, big picture, innovation, risk. Whereas the rest of his team were on the left hemisphere, blue, analytical, meaning they prefer, data, facts, graphs, brief, concise, and to the point. And so there was this cognitive diversity gap between the CEO and the rest of the leadership team. And so through this newfound awareness, they were able to bridge that gap to find ways to be more effective at collaborating. So hopefully that was helpful for you. If you want more ideas and more insights on how you can leverage cognitive diversity, I recommend reading the full article linked in the description. And then if you have any comments or thoughts, drop them below. And lastly, if you need or you have a specific example where you could use some support implementing these ideas or any of the ideas I have mentioned in previous articles and videos, please reach out to me directly. I'm happy to help. And my number one preference is through via email at ty@carverassociates.com. Second, through our website, carverassociates.com. There's a way you can reach out to me there. And then lastly, through LinkedIn, you can drop me a DM there too. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully it was valuable. And again, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. And I hope you have a great day. Take care.